This is a short video on how to run an RM500 road reclaimer. I'll go over the basic controls and then your startup procedure. So on our main panel, we have your parking brake, beacon, hazard lights, and signal lights. There you have your diff lock, your travel speed switch, work mode, and travel mode. This is your load control to control the speed of the machine during operation. This is your mixing chamber rotation to hold more material or release more material while you're mixing. This is your depth set indicator. This is your rotor speed selector. This is your engine idle. And this is your rotor clutching gauge. Moving over to this system here, we have your forward reverse. Push down on the top, forward and reverse. You have your cab slide. You have your front gate height set, your rear gate height set, your manual rotor depth adjustment, your automatic rotor depth adjustment, your rear steering jog, your rear steering or your steering mode switch, and your travel speed dial. Travel speed dial is for adjusting your maximum speed during operation. So for your startup, you will turn on the master switch and check your oil and fluids. Once that's done, you want to go through your switches, make sure that they are all in the neutral position. Your parking brake is on. All these switches are in the neutral position, and you want your steering selector to be in rear steer mode. After that, you can turn your key on. We'll let the computer boot up. Once the computer is booted up, you can start your machine. You will want to be in travel mode for moving and positioning your machine. Once you get your machine into position, you can turn your rotor on. Your rotor must be engaged at an idle, and your speed selection can only be changed at an idle. Once you're in position with your rotor running at the appropriate speed, you will move the engine to full idle. I'm going to not do that right now for noise reasons. You will set your engine to high idle, and with this switch in the center position, you will set your depth using that. As you adjust your depth, you can either keep track on your digital display here, or on your cylinders there's also an indicator. Once you have selected your depth, right now we're at plus 7.4 inches, we will come over here and we're going to hold this switch for 5 seconds. Once we hold that switch for 5 seconds, that now sets our automatic depth. Once you've done that, you can move this into the down position, and that will return the rotor to that same depth every time you set it. Now you're set at your depth, you will move your switch into work mode, engage your diff lock if needed, and you'll move forward. I usually move all the way forward first, and then I slowly turn my speed control dial up until I hear the engine start to bog down. This switch here is your load control. If you have that on, when your engine starts to bog down, it will automatically reduce your travel speed to maintain the steady load on the engine. You may, at this point, you can go through your cut. You may have to adjust your front or rear gates to get the desired mixing result that you want. Once they're set, I don't usually have to have any issues resetting them. I just continue my pass, and then once I get to the end, you move this and you move that to the up position, which will raise your rotor back up to its lifted position. I'm going to rev the engine up so that the hydraulics will engage to lift that rotor up. There, now that rotor is in the fully up position. And now we would move back into travel mode, reposition ourselves for our next pass. Once we're in position for our next pass, we can go back into work mode, and then we will hit this down, and that's going to move that rotor back down. If we watch here, it'll move back down to the same setting it was at previously. From there, you can continue on until you're done. Once you're done, you want to idle your engine down, disengage your rotor. It usually takes just a second here. You can see on this indicator here, our rotor is currently running in second gear. Once that rotor slows down, it's going to disengage, and you will see a small N there. The rotor brake is currently not working properly, so it's going to take a little while for that to disengage. Other than that, that is the basics of how to run this machine.